Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing A Portrait of a Lady on Fire. This was directed by Celine Sciamma, stars Nimi Merlant and Adele Hanel. Really looks at a female painter who's obligated to paint a wedding portrait of a young woman on an isolated island in Brittany at the end of the 18th century. It looks at how she has to do this by not allowing the subject of her painting to know that she's painting her. She's hired as a woman to go out walking with, and that's all she really knows about her. And it sort of looks at how she starts to form the idea of what the painting's going to look like by a variety of interactions with Heloise, and she starts to study her really intensely. And this is ultimately where a bond and relationship begin between these two women, and how this relationship begins as friendship and slowly drifts into a romantic relationship. This is all done through a variety of looks and interactions with the two lead characters. And the romance comes much later in the film when it becomes to physical touch. It looks at how people can come together. They don't always stay together, but it's the experiences that they have together and that they will remember each other forever as they get older. And this is sort of what this film looks at. How these two women form this sort of romantic relationship and the effect that it has on them in the positive and negative ways. And how it shaped them into the people that they later become. I thought this movie was absolutely beautiful. It was beautifully shot, and it just looked really fantastic. There's a sadness to it that's sort of heavy throughout it, but there's also this beauty to it where you really feel you want these two to end up together and you want them to express how they feel. And when they're together, it brings a smile to your face to see that these two people who have just met, who are deeply in love, interacting with each other. Like I said, it was beautifully shot. It's sort of set in one location in this sort of house on this sort of island. There are other locations, but mainly on this sort of island. It takes place in the house. Each shot is fantastically orchestrated and put together, and it could be a painting in its own way because it's just the way that's set up and shot that's fantastic. There's great sequences within it. There's moments where you're just mesmerized by what's transpiring on screen, and you're so captivated by these characters. It sort of sucks you in, and you get swept away by it without even really noticing. It takes its time to tell its story. It's a little slow to begin with, and it sort of is a quiet film as well. There isn't a lot of dialogue. It's about really seeing these characters as they just go about doing their normal day things. There's a gothic feeling to it as well, that it sort of has a bit of a mystery in a way. There's sequences where Marianne starts seeing Heloise in ultimately this white dress, and she keeps appearing to her in moments in this house and like this dream sort of thing. It's like she's sort of envisioning something that's slowly creeping up upon her that she doesn't want to happen ultimately. I really like the French sensibility when it comes to these sort of films, the romances they do and the sort of dramas, and this combines romance and drama quite well. And it feels very real in many aspects. I really feel by having it directed by a female, it sort of adds a female sensibility that a male director I don't think could really capture. They could still do a film like this, but there's just something about the understanding of a female director with female characters that really makes them believable and really makes them feel very real. It makes sense to see the way they interact in the world they're involved in and the story that is sort of unfolding in front of our eyes. The acting is absolutely fantastic. There's really three mains in this film. There's Nimi Merlant, who plays Marianne, and she's absolutely mesmerizing this film. There's something really fascinating her. You really believe her as a painter. And just the looks that she has towards Heloise is just fantastic to watch. She's very descriptive and she acts a lot with her eyes, and you really feel what she's feeling and you can see what she's thinking. She's really the character we see the world through. She's the first character we meet. She's sort of reminiscing she's teaching an art class and she's reminiscing about a particular painting, and that's when we go back and we start to see how she came to form the painting that's sort of sitting in her studio. And we really see it through her eyes, her going to the island. And even when we first meet Heloise, we don't really see her face. We just have this interaction where she's waiting at the bottom of the stairs with a hood over her head, and it's just about Marianne following her out the door towards the beach. And she sort of, as she's walking, the hood comes off and she starts running, and that's all we're seeing is the back of her head until she finally turns when she gets to the edge of the cliff, and we get to see her face and we get to see Marianne looking at her, which is a really fantastic sequence as well. But it's just about her interacting in this world. So everything she sees, we see. Everything she thinks and feels, we think and feel as well. So it really is a wonderful character to follow into this world. Adele Haenel playing Heloise is really fantastic as well. She's really captivating, there's unique beauty to her, and you can see why Marianne is drawn to her and can see why she ultimately falls in love with her, because there's just something unique about her. And she's very naive to the world. She doesn't quite understand certain things. She hasn't experienced life the way Marianne has. And straight away she's drawn to Marianne because of that fact. Marianne starts to tell her things about music and feelings and thoughts and books. This creates an interest by Heloise, who really wants to know more about her. And I really like that. I think she really captures that, and I really like the relationship between these two women as well, as it slowly becomes romantic and becomes physical, and the way that they produce that, and the way that it feels very real with these two when they're sitting, lying in bed together, talking, or just lying there, just feels very real, and I really love that. And there's another character called Sophie, who's sort of like a servant maid sort of character that sort of helps Marianne and looks after both of them. And there's really a bond formed between these three women. And it's kind of interesting to watch this dynamic between these three different actresses and what they bring to their characters. And the way that they sort of interact and bounce off each other is really fantastic to watch. It's sort of a film that doesn't really talk about people's sexuality. People's sexuality and sexual preferences don't really come into this film. It's about these two women who fall in love. And that's what it's all about. It's just about these two people finding each other and are drawn to each other and can't help it. And just find that there's a bond that they can't deny. There's some sequences that really stand out for me. But there's also these other fantastic sequences where they're walking along the beach, where they share their first kiss, and how that unfolds is really beautiful to watch. The one sequence that stands out most to me is they end up at this particular fire, this bonfire ultimately on the beach. And there's this sequence where there's about probably 10 women, and they all start singing in unison. Their voices in this pitch, and then they start clapping and singing, and it's mesmerizing, the most mesmerizing scene in the whole film. And it's just them singing and clapping and sort of creating music together, which is just so powerful in itself. But on either side of this fire is Marianne and Heloise, and they're staring at each other. This is the moment where they fall in love. This is the moment where they can't deny how they feel, and they're expressing it through their descriptive eyes. And they're staring over this fire, and they just sort of stare at each other, and then all of a sudden, Heloise's dress catches alight. And she's still staring at Marianne like she's lost in her eyes in this moment. She casually looks down at her dress that's on fire and then looks back up and sort of smiles. And they ultimately put the dress out. But this sequence is just fantastic. The way it's shot and orchestrated. The fact that these women are singing in unison and crafting this really powerful and unique song. And just the performances by the two actresses. It's just fantastic. It really blew my mind and was mesmerizing and just had a profound effect on me, just this imagery in general. And this film is filled with so many great imagery. I was really impressed with this film. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I had heard a lot about it, and I had heard that it Cannes won Best Screenplay, which it deserved because it was fantastic in this description of the environment, the world, the year, the costumes, everything about it just really encompasses this really fantastic story. And like I said, you get so swept up in it, you don't even notice until right at the end when it's sort of over and you go, wow, I didn't expect that. And it's a film that really sits with you after you've seen it. I thought it was really powerful in that regard, and it keeps playing in my mind just how great it really truly was. Final thoughts. At the heart, it's really a story about love and how you can't choose sometimes who you love, it just happens. And you can't help how you feel towards someone else. And you can't deny it, and then you finally act upon it. And that's what the film really looks at. It's just an absolutely beautiful film in many ways. And I highly recommend seeing this if you haven't. If you get the opportunity to watch it, definitely go and check it out. I'm going to give A Portrait of a Lady on Fire 4.5 out of 5. I thought this film was absolutely fantastic, amazing, beautiful. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit the subscribe button at the bottom. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.